what we wanted to talk about today was the sort of repercussions of not listening.
Exactly.
We both have, and it's really, just before I came on tonight,
Hi, Gail.
I had a lady, oh, hi, Gilly, had a lady on, and I sort of groaned when she came on again. Hi, Sandy, and she sort of, so I was trying to be quite subtle with her. And she was saying, I want you to get this guy out on your page. I really do. I want you to get this guy out on your page. I want everybody to know that they're using him. So, I mean, she knew, it wasn't him, but she wanted everybody to know. He's been on our page a lot. I've repeated him again tonight, but he's been. So the fact that it was on the page, Cathy, she hadn't looked anyway, so you've never found him anyway. But this lady, believe it or not, and I said to her, I said, look, we've talked about this before. And she said to me, are you checking up on me? Are you researching me? Well, no, I was the last one that talked to her. I was the last one that talked to her 6 weeks ago. 6 weeks ago, it was a different scam.
Oh my gosh.
And we know what we say to people, Cathy. We say the same to everybody. And it applies to everybody that comes to you, not just that one. If we say to people, do you get a friend or a follow request from a stranger, it's going to be fake. That's exactly what it means. And I know you've been frustrated because you've got the same thing, haven't you?
Oh, I certainly have. And it seems to be the same people every time coming to us. They're continuously getting into scams and they're not listening.
Hi, Gina.
And this is why this chat's going to be a little bit different than normal, where we have to really emphasise the dangers.
I think people don't realise the dangers at all, but this woman thought I was being very harsh on her.
Gina.
And I wasn't. I said to her, well, we've had this conversation before, and they were the very words that I used. and she said, are you researching? Well, of course we weren't researching, and we just remembered it because it wasn't long ago. Some people get quite offended if you try to suggest that, well, we told you last time Bitcoin hard to recover. Bitcoin's impossible to recover. Well, money lost to scams will not be recovered. Basically, if you lose money to a scam, you've lost the money to the scammer. And that's it. So we can't say that enough either, because I don't know about you. I probably guess about you, Cathy. We warn about recovery scams.
Oh, they're scammers themselves. Recovery scams is another scam yet again. And people think that recovery scams, okay, you pay a service fee for them to recover your money, and then they take anything between 10 to 30%, they say. It's a scammer again.
Most of the time, where they've got these hacker, you see, the hacker recovery scam is relatively recent. It probably is a year or two, but but they discovered that people quite like the word hacker. It sounds a bit exotic. Oh, I've got a hacker. Now, all the hacker does is come back to you after a couple of days with a sheet of information. On that sheet of information, it's telling you, they give you a picture that they've taken offline, Then they give you a name, usually not an African name. Then they give you a location, or this is where he lives, and coordinates. And people can look, they found my scammer. They have. They haven't. Hacker equals scammer. Never ever
Mm.
forget that. Hacker equals scammer. But you see, the thing is, Cathy, they believed that last time. So they're going to believe this time. And the scammer knows that.
And Ruth, the scammers are so powerful. They are so they are so believable to some people, and they won't listen to reason.
No,
They will not listen to reason. They will not listen to their bank managers, the police, their
no.
family, their friends, anyone
We have a
except.
lady. Yeah, we've got a lady at the moment. She's 80. I mean, I had to say to her family, look, take a phone off her.
Mm.
Because she is in a scam, not a first scam. She didn't listen the first time. This is not a first scam, it's another one. This one is a sort of romance to Bitcoin scam, you know? And so the scammers have got her into one of these fake websites and they have got her to invest. So of course she puts a few $1,000s in. And within a week, that few $1,000s has doubled and tripled. Oh, this looks good. I'm making all this money. So last week she sent them $10,000.
Oh, oh my goodness,
She won't listen
that's
to
a
her family. But
mm.
the thing was, they got the police round. It's Canada. They got the police round to talk to her, and she didn't believe the police.
Oh, really?
And she
How can
believes.
people like that?
I wish I
You'd think
knew.
you think you would learn from the first scam. That's a lot of money for an elderly person.
She owns her own home, which is always worrying because
Mm.
she's going through her money quite quickly. But of course, she owns her own home, and her personal account manager is the one who's the online lover. So she's sort of believing him, and they're talking about the future. So the family are very, very worried about it. Now, I think what we've got to put into people's minds, and it's very difficult, is the fact that it is online. You have no proof.
Mm.
Hi, Cutie Candy. Haven't seen you for a while. Hope everybody's okay.
And morning, Alicia.
Oh, I didn't see Alicia go up there. And oh, and Dionysus, we've got everybody today. That's lovely.
Oh,
Um,
excellent.
so you know, it's very frustrating because I said to this lady just before I came on, and I know Cathy says the same things. And oh, there's Alicia, and Gayleen, and Sandy, and we all say the same thing. We are not going to say to oh, I can't read Greek. We are not going to say to you now. Listen, honey, I want you to you know, um, not speak to these people, babe. You know, don't send them any money, my queen, because that
Or
seems to
don't
be the only.
or don't tell anybody about them.
Yeah, yeah, and
Mm.
just it's very frustrating for us hearing the same thing over and over and over and over. Oxytocin is what makes it so effective. Well, there's an oxy
Mm.
something, but you know, um, yeah. Hi, you.
I,
Oh, you're getting. Oh,
it,
I must say, Lucy's doing concerts. You know,
oh,
Lucy, piano player Lucy. She's doing concerts. These are her first couple of concerts, so I really hope they go all right. I know Candy's going to be stood backstage, sort of like hoping everything goes. But you know, why isn't reality a substitute? It's all right saying oxycodone or whatever.
mm,
Why
mm,
isn't reality? Why isn't reality? It's a chemical in the brain released for these people when they get a love scam. Bollocks. I'm sorry, but it's
mm,
bollocks.
mm,
No, it's not. It's not a chemical in the brain. It is simply they like it. It is repetitive. It is every day. It is several times a day. It is human nature. Doesn't matter what happens in your brain, you just like it in your brain. It is human nature. Everybody wants to be loved, and everybody wants to say, "Oh,
Oh,
see, I love
yeah.
your set." Yeah, I'm
Mm,
coming to that.
mm,
She's anticipating me. Um, and everybody wants to give a reason for it, give it a nice technical reason. No, there's not. It's constant attention, and Cathy will tell you that, because that's what Cathy had from her scam. Yes, there's the high when you get in contact with them,
mm.
and there is, but what happens then is you get so wrapped up in your scammer all the time, 24/7, and we will say to somebody, his name is, oh, I don't know, Jim Ernstine, Tom
Mm.
Ernstine. But he said he's called Kelvin Clogs. Well, no, he's actually called Tom Ernstine, and he's a gay model. Well, no, he said he's got a child of 8, and that's all we get. But he said, but he said, but he said. And you can have all the technical in the world, and it's true. I mean, Cathy, how did you feel in your scam when your scammer contacted you?
Oh, it was euphoria. It was euphoria. I couldn't get enough. You know, and I wasn't listening to reason. I know now. Um, yeah, it's wonderful. The love bombing. Oh my
Yes,
goodness. The promises.
it's
And you know,
everything you want
and
to hear.
ever saying, "Don't you trust me?" He would always say, "Don't you trust me?" I look back at it now. I mean,
Yeah,
I can see reasoning in it, but it is very hard for me to go back and think of how.
yeah.
And I'm not going to say it's silly or stupid, because I wasn't.
No,
I'm going to say the innocence.
the trusting. That's what it
Exactly.
is. The trusting. And I said to you, as I say to everybody, you wouldn't do this to anybody else. So why would anybody do it to you? So
Mm.
it doesn't cross your mind. I do get the chemical to the brain thing. I do get that. And it plays a part in it. But it's a small part. Because
Mm.
if that was the only part, if you got contacted once a day, you'd be quite happy. It's not. And when your scammer is not in contact with you, you are putting them in your home. So you're thinking about them. You're thinking about when they're going to arrive. You're thinking about, shall I move this room around? Oh no, I'll wait till he comes. I'll wait till he comes back. We can do it together.
Mm.
And so you are making the scammer's job easier for him. He's away having a party. He's away having his cognac and his cough medicine.
Mm.
But you are keeping the scam going. Why? Because just when you might begin to, they'll come back again. So it is the control, it's the constant control of your life.
And when they do contact you too, when you're having a conversation with them, I found that you are only having a conversation for a few minutes because they
Yeah,
have to go. It was never a long, in-depth
yeah.
conversation. And the reason being is because they're talking to many others at the same time.
And you see, again, Cathy, we try and explain this to people. It's one of
Mm.
the things we say. The fact that, I remember with Rebecca, and her scammer used to ring her at 3 a.m. And I said, oh, that was your slot. And of course, that's what it is,
Mm.
because everybody's organized into time zones. Because you might be scamming Cathy in Australia and Rebecca in Florida. So,
Mm.
everybody's in their little time zone, so they don't get the good night at the wrong time. Everybody's called babe and honey and my queen. So that they don't get your name mixed. No good calling Cathy Rebecca and Rebecca Cathy. So you get endearments, but then you like the
Mm.
endearments because, hi Carla, they are so nice. And it's all these little things. So it's not just one thing. It's not just the endorphins. It's not just the chemicals in the brain. It is a lot of things. You can't write it off as one thing. They do work in shifts because, as I said, they scam Cathy in Australia, and they scam Rebecca in Florida, and they scam around the world because this crime is so easy. And I'm
That's
not
very,
saying that lightly.
yeah. That's right, what Celtic just said about the breadcrumbs.
Yeah,
We're breadcrumbs for them.
yeah. When you
Mm.
treat strangers on the street like you don't know, why do people? Yeah, I mean, I always say, if I was sat in a bar and somebody, I got a hello pretty yesterday. Well, I just,
Mhm.
to
I
me,
bet
that is
you like,
so silly. I did actually. He didn't. He got about half an hour. He didn't get cut off after 10 minutes. This
oh,
one, he
goodness
did. Oh,
me.
he really did, because I was very, very annoyed. And then I closed his account, so it was all worth it. But then I wouldn't expect somebody of 15 to go up to another teenager and say hello, pretty. Much less an adult male say it to an adult female. But I'm going to come back to what we
Yeah.
wanted to talk about mainly, and that is when we tell you what's going on, and then you go back to another scam. Because I'm sorry, ladies, they are not that different. They really aren't. One might be in Yemen and the other one might be in an oil rig, but he's still going to call you honey baby and my queen. He's still going to be widowed because his wife died of car crash, cancer, or childbirth. There's still going to be a child somewhere, you know. So listen to us as much as you listen to your scammer. Is that too much to ask?
And they do not need money. They
No.
can they can act, well, military. They can access their accounts while they're away. They have got access to Wi-Fi. They have mess halls
Mm.
where they can
They have
go and
very good food. Very good food.
exactly, and their families are covered health wise. If they have to have surgery, the Defence Forces pay for
Yeah.
it.
Every penny. Can you
Every
imagine?
penny.
Can you imagine in real life if you said, "Come and join"? We both know Caesar.
Mm,
He's in recruiting. We both knew Justin when he was in recruiting,
mm,
and well, I did because it was a while ago. But that's when I first met him, when he was in
mm.
recruiting. Can you imagine recruiting somebody into the army, saying, "Now, when you go away, we might not feed you very well, and we don't actually pay you when you were away, but you'll get it when you come back. And now, if you want leave, you've got to pay a couple of $1,000s for it, and a woman's got to apply for it." Can you imagine? Just it's not going to happen, is it?
You get no recruitments.
Get nobody in, would you?
Mm, no, no.
Um. So after they confess, reveal their true self, yeah. They all the same. The confession is a format. If you've got a military scam, it's a format, it's a script. It's a script with bits on, isn't it? It's to cover a few eventualities. I
Mm.
mean, there's one I've got, and honestly, it's there's one I've got, and there's a little bit sort of tucked in there. If you can have a sort of sexy night with your lady, and when you see it written down, it's hilarious. It's not very sexy at all, but it's quite funny. But it's all part of the format. It's all part of the scam. The confession: we haven't got a good government in Nigeria. We can't get any good jobs. There's jobs, but they want a good job. We want to go back to school. We haven't got any food. I haven't eaten for 3 days. Um, the confession is a format, so they can confess the same. Now, again, Cathy, we come across people who allow them to confess and keep it on.
Mm. We do.
They haven't learned learned that, well, he was a scammer once, but to them, if they confess to you, they're not a scammer anymore because they've told you about it. So I'm real now. Might still be using Justin's pictures.
And the dangers with that is, okay, they confess, they reveal themselves, and then they will say, but I've really, really got feelings for you. Please
Yeah.
don't let me go.
Yeah.
And they will continue to scam you.
Well, as Candy's just said there, I mean, it will be, if you could just help me. They don't say, will you send me money? They say, will you help me?
And
You know.
they'll take you for a tour of their house and
Oh yeah.
outside.
Well,
See the lot, and you'll see the poverty they live in. It's all part of a scam.
yeah. I mean, yes, we did, Jane.
Yeah.
But they were using Jesse, and he's one of my favourites, Jane, as you know. So we had a scammer using Jesse. I don't allow that with my favourites. But we are sat here telling you what is the best thing. We are telling you the reality of scams. We are telling you what it is from beginning to end. And while we're telling you all this, your scammers having a party. I mean, I will go on about this having a party because they do a lot.
They
And
do.
they're not thinking about you. They don't
They
care.
couldn't. I was just going to say that. Yep, they don't care.
No.
They have no consideration whatsoever. They don't care if they leave you heartbroken and broke.
No.
They couldn't care less. They're buying all the new clothes, they're buying the cars, they're buying the drugs, they're having dope parties. They're having sex parties. I mean, it's just terrible.
I'll have to send you the one that I found the other night. I put them on Kelvin Klein, and there were three lads who were doing crypto scams. Oh, Cathy, I'm not kidding you. Money doesn't buy taste. They looked like idiots in their clothes. They really did. I mean, it's just ridiculous. But there again, you see that money could have been that 10,000 that lady sent. They tell you to go and kill yourself. We have that a lot. We
Yes.
it is very serious. We also on Instagram we used to get, they don't come back anymore. But we used to get a little gang that used to come and tease us, shall we say. And one of the things they actually said to us was, we don't care how many of you kill yourselves. And, a very famous one that we had was a family where the lady did kill herself. And, they were doing things in the room and her phone went. And her son picked it up and it was the scammer. And he said, "You are a murderer. You have killed my mother." And the scammer laughed. And that, you can imagine the effect on the boy.
Can you imagine the psyche of the scammer?
Yes. It's exactly what we know they are, though, Cathy.
Yeah. And I'm sorry, Gina. That's terrible.
I've got a different. Yeah, this is it.
Yeah, that's really, really sad. That's very sad. Sorry, I'm still coughing a little bit. Yeah, we've both been sick, haven't we?
Yeah.
Yeah, but people, you've got to look. I've got a couple of people here in Australia that are not. They're refusing to listen to reason, and it's very, very sad. It's really sad. And the scammers have actually now contacted the victims' children, and they're starting to scam the children.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
And
How terrible is that?
and you see, it happens we do it every day, Gina, don't we? I mean, is there ever a day we don't get angry? Because I don't think there is. Um, but you know, we get it all the time, where they're going to talk to, you know, people let them talk to their children. So that, you know, that brings in what we said before about you bringing your scammer into your family, into your home, into your house, into your life. So you are actually helping the scam on when he's not texting you or calling you. You're helping it on, and now you're giving them access to your family, which is great, because then, and I know this happens because I've spoken to lots of them, you are talking to people who sit and talk to their kids. There's a one, it was Barry Bull,
Mm,
and he got very upset because these boys thought they contacted the real one,
mm.
and they thought that he was going to be their father,
Oh, for Pete's sake.
because the scammer had told them that he was going to come, and he was going to their school, and you know, he was going to talk about the Marines, and this hero was going to come and be their father.
Mm.
So when that blew up, that affected so many people, you know, and these kids were not too small to not know about it, you know. I mean, they were of an age to understand and be very badly affected by it.
And it can take a long time to recover,
Mhm.
or it can take, in my case, it took a short time. But I did the right thing, and that is I went straight to my family. That was the first port of call. I went straight to my family, and we had interventions, which was the
Mhm.
best thing I ever
Yeah.
did. You know, I made a couple of psychology appointments. I spoke to a priest because, as you know, I do go to church. But that's the way I recovered, and
Yeah.
I recovered very quickly because Ruth, when I came to you, I listened to you, and I had
Only
to
because I
listen.
talked about Henry.
Actually, Henry's sound asleep.
Well, I'll tell you. I'll tell you how we got to Cathy.
Mm,
Um, Cathy was telling me that she didn't dare go out, and she
mm,
couldn't. She
mm,
was very, very scared. She had enhanced security all around her home, and she was very, very scared to go out, because what had happened with Cathy is her scammer had said that he had people in Australia. He had people near her in Australia, and I mean the size of Australia, and he just happened to have people quite near Cathy. Um, and he was going to come and get her, or they were going to come and get her.
and I
So
get it.
obviously, she was really, really scared. And then she started telling me about Henry, and I said, "Well, doesn't the dog get out for a walk?" "Oh no, I don't take the dog out for a walk." So
Mm.
that's how we got there eventually. And then a few days later, you came back and you said that you'd taken Henry for a walk. I was so proud of you when you did that.
You've got no idea. That was a real accomplishment for me. That
It was. It
was it.
was.
It was a whole, my soul had been lifted. It was just wonderful. And there you go. It was euphoric because
Yes.
I realized that it was just words. It wasn't actions.
But these were your actions. These were your positive actions
Mm,
to reclaim your life back again.
mm, mm,
Now, the thing is that I know about you, because I know you, um,
mm.
is the fact that I know that you wouldn't go back into a scam,
Oh, no. No. God, no.
because
Definitely not.
anytime somebody came to you, whether you did this or not,
Mm,
I mean, you did, you decided to sort of, you know, throw yourself into doing Scam
mm,
Aiders United. But
mm.
whether you had or not, which, you know, even if you'd waited a little while, I just know that you learned at that point.
I did. I
Bitten once,
did.
never again.
Never again. You know, no. And this is what I'm trying
Yeah.
to tell our people down here. Look, our success, I can't even say it, our success rate is very high down here, because everything I've learned from you, and I pass it on to our victims, and they're pretty good. But you've still got that occasional couple that won't listen. Sorry, Rick, I'm going to cough. Sorry.
We'll let you.
Oh,
Oh, you.
sorry.
I'll let you know that I passed on my germs to Cathy in our Facebook, Cathy. You know, so we're very good. We've sent them down the internet. These germs have been, honestly, our cold bug's been all around the world. So Jane, Candy, just be careful. Just keep your hand over your mouth, because we're good at passing them on.
I've actually got
I
Alicia
get it.
and Gayleen coming over in 2 weeks' time,
Oh,
and
what
Gayleen's going to stay a month with me,
that's
and
lovely.
it's wonderful. And Alicia's going to probably stay a week with me, which is fantastic. So, and I've got everything prepared for them. I even got them the cups, Scam Haters United Australia and New Zealand.
Lovely. I'm looking forward to the
So we'll have to do
live
a
chat.
podcast.
Oh,
We'll have to do a podcast while they're here.
Absolutely.
But getting back to what I was saying before, you will come across people that will not listen regardless. I've had, yes. I like that snot box. I like that.
Yeah.
We had, and I'm going to say it. We had one woman that was in a scam. I got her out of it. She got into another scam, and she would not listen. Then she got into money laundering, and it was just horrendous. And she's still in it. So I've had to let it go.
Yeah. I mean, it could possibly happen, because we've had plenty of it over the years. We've had arrests. We have had arrests.
Yeah.
We had one lady who went to court. No, we had two ladies who went to court almost at the same time, and it was coming up to Christmas one year. And they both had been handling money, and they'd both been handling about the same amount of money. But remember, I don't care where you live. You can be Australia, you can be England, you can be America, you can be Denmark, you can be anywhere. Your account, your crime. Your account, your name, your crime.
Very true. Very true.
So the thing is, we had one lady who didn't go to prison. She went to court. She didn't go to prison, but she was all over the local newspaper as a money mule. There was not always about it. It was a crime, and she'd been, implicated in romance scams. The other one went to prison for 20 months, and she wasn't a young lady. She was getting on, and she actually went to prison for 20 months. Now, I have a lady in Sweden at the moment, and she was determined. Eva Lotta spoke to her as well, because they spoke in Swedish, and she came to us, and she's been really angry, this lady, and she pushed and she pushed and she pushed, and her money meal is in court at the end of the month.
Oh, wow.
Now, I'd explained to her that the money meal, it was a woman, so the money meal could possibly be another victim. But this lady had lost quite a lot of money to this woman. And you can understand how angry she was, because the woman accepted the money and sent it on. So you can understand. So she's actually got her money meal going to court. And I can understand how that is good for her. I mean, we know, when you get to this level, Cathy, we know they're not going to go back in a scam. It's lovely, in a way.
and that's what's happened to me. Remember, I got sent the $15,000 into my bank account, and that was obviously other people's money, but I didn't think of that at the time. And thank goodness my bank manager was the one that talked to me about it. And again, I listened and I said, take it back. I don't want it. Take it back. Yep.
There's a lot of, I go on Twitter, and there's a lot on Twitter, and they get very angry. They'll say, I went to the bank and I wanted to take out 3,000, and I got all these questions. They want to know why I want the money, what I want to send it with. I can't have it immediately. And they keep saying it's my money. I don't like being questioned. And I'm sat here thinking, good. I wish all banks would do that, because there is so much fraud. They are helping you not to lose your money. So don't get angry at them. They are actually
bring them
helping
all
you.
yourself.
Yeah.
And it's true. It's not that you're doing it intentionally. You don't know.
No.
You don't know you're doing it.
No, because you think you're doing somebody a favour. Somebody's
right.
asked you to do something, and they do it in such a matter-of-fact way anyway, that they need a favour doing. Can you do it for them? And they put it in a way that's quite believable, so you just do it. I mean, you don't think, oh, where might this money come from? You don't even think about it.
That reminds me too, Ruth, a lot of the scammers will say, look, have you noticed that a lot of the scammers will have over $1 million in their bank accounts?
Oh, yes.
And they will give you access to their account. So you can see it online and you think, wow, okay.
Got a rich man.
Yeah, so obviously he's got the money or she's got the money. So when they get home, my money will be refunded. It's all a mock.
It is. Account. I mean, it's a mock bank account. I mean, it is all fake. I've got one to send to you at the moment. It's not a bank account, it's a military one, but I want to send it to you. But they make fake bank accounts. They make fake websites of all sorts.
They do.
Now, you can have a fake website that is a banking website. Now, if I gave Cathy my bank logins, there's no way my bank would let her log in, because you've got to jump through hoops really for yourself to get past to log in. Most of mine is like facial recognition.
I was just going to say,
thing. Yeah. But you can't go online and just log into somebody's bank account from Australia. It just doesn't work like that. But funnily enough, when your new man gives you his bank logins, you just get straight in, and there you are, a little picture of him as well. I've never known a bank account with a picture. But you're there, and in there you'll have checking account, current account, as we call the regular accounts, and it'll have like $1.4 million in it.
Well, my scammer went from the first time he gave me his bank account, I think it was he had 4 million, and then 3 weeks later he had 35 million.
Yeah, because 35 million naira is probably about $2,000. You know what I mean? It's not very much in naira. They don't have an idea of what's right. As Justin said, if I had that much money in the bank, there's no way the army would see me the next day. But you see, then what happens? They allow you to log in. They will say, "Oh, look, I can't get in." So what I'll do, if you could just transfer some money out for me, and then the bank comes and says, "Bank account, suspicious activity. Your bank account's locked." So then you feel bad, because you were the one that went into his bank account and it's now locked. So they will ask you for some money, but it's all right, because you've seen that he's got $4 million. It's quite fine, because he's good for the money.
And they'll ask you for gift card or PayPal or Bitcoin.
Yeah. Apple iTunes cards are making a comeback. We lost them for a while. It was everything else, but iTunes cards are making a comeback. And when we first started with iTunes cards, they used to say, keep the receipt from the checkout.
Mm.
Because what they could do, they could contact iTunes, get the little code off the back. There was a code on the receipt, and they could get a cash refund on them. Now, then iTunes stopped that, and I don't know whether they might have started it again. I haven't been able to look into it, you know, to ask people what they've been asked for. But what we are saying is, and I'm going to say what I said to this lady this afternoon. It's Sunday. Well, it's Monday for her, but you know what I mean. It's very early in the morning for her. It's Sunday. I'm sat here. I've been sat here all day, and I do it because I care. Cathy does it because she cares.
Mm.
If we didn't care, we wouldn't do it. Because
Mm.
believe me, the pay's not good, is it, Cathy? You know, yeah, we don't get paid for this. You know, nobody gets
You know,
paid for this. And
we'll do 8, 9, 10-hour shifts, and we
yeah,
still don't get paid.
right, Annie. No, you know, we don't. I mean, Annie, you know, I often double her wages when she doesn't fall asleep. Then I half them again when she falls asleep in the afternoon. So, you know. But yeah, we do this because we care. If we didn't care, we wouldn't do it. Hi, Hector. Oh, Candy, that cruise. We can actually have Lucy playing on the cruise. We can put her to good use. You know, she can be our entertainment. Yes, you can laugh, Annie. I'm telling them. She goes to sleep in the chair. Often. And the other day, do you know, the other day on our page, it wasn't my shift, but there was nobody on there. There was nobody answering messages. There was nobody answering the page. There was nobody doing anything. And I sort of, you know, sat for a while and answered a few messages. And I came on the thing, and I just put something on about something. And Annie said, "Oh, I'm sorry, I went to sleep." And Cathy said, "So did I." That's the staff. That's the caliber of staff we've got on this side of the world. They go to sleep on shift. Yeah.
Oh no, I have the whip cracking with my team. No, they're very good guys, Alicia. They're wonderful. But Ruth, we've got to really emphasize that, you know, you are in a scam, for goodness sake. When you think about it, why? And I know this is reasoning for me, but it's hard for other people. But why would you want to send money to a romantic connection you have met on the internet? You haven't had a video call, a live video call.
Yeah.
And when I say live, what do we say, Ruth? We say hold 5 fingers up on 2 hands, get up and turn around.
Get up and turn around, because they can. I have seen them, you know, I've seen them do this. And I've seen the computer program thing that they use. But you know, Cathy, one thing they can't do, even with AI, is this, what we're doing now. Because, you know, when you talk naturally, as we do, we talk over each other all the time. Because you do when you're in a conversation. You see, I've just talked there, and you've just gone, which is what you do. It's normal.
That's right.
I've seen AI. They're not great. But even on the best ones, they can't stand up, turn around, and sit down. So always keep that in mind. But you know the difference. We've all had a video call, all of us. You know the difference between them coming onto the screen, and it goes off again. "Oh, I'm sorry, it's bad reception. There's no sound." And you think, "Oh yeah, but I saw him move, so it was him. It's all right. I know it's him." And we've had more, as you know, we've had more people accused that way, because they've seen them move. We all know what a video call, a video chat is. And isn't it funny, Cathy, that if you want to call a friend, if you want to say you, Alicia and Gillian want to get it together, or me and you across the world want to have a video chat, we can manage it. Isn't it funny that the one person that you can't actually manage it with is the man that you're talking to?
Exactly. Spot on.
And please don't accept a message where they send you a video where they've got a little message to say, hello, Cathy, it's Sunday night. I just thought because I want you to know that I'm real, babe. This is the real me. Don't you worry. I love you very much. Don't accept that because that's made on an iPhone. Cheap fake, as I call them. No good at all.
No.
Do you know the one thing I can't get rid of? I got a cold sore on here.
So have I. my lips. That's why I've got dark lipstick on to hide it.
It's driving me nuts. It really, really is.
Just put the palm on it.
I've got some here. I've got some here. Yes. Oh, driving me mad.
Yeah. So yeah, just and please, listen to reason and stop sending. Obviously, they're still talking to scammers because they will come back to us and they'll say, do you recognise this person?
Oh, Mary. Look, I've sent Mary the grand flu as well now.
Oh, no, Mary.
Mary?
Yeah.
I'm so good.
And
I am so generous.
Mary, it actually originated with Ruth.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Honestly, I've given it to everybody. Oh yes, Jen, this one driven me mad. Oh no, Candy, because it hurts. I can't put anything on that stings because I'm an absolute coward.
Oh no, I don't know if I could put perfume on it.
No, I'm a coward. I did put some Germaline on, which smelled a bit awful. But
yeah. So stop, So stop. Like we get the occasional, we'll get the occasional one where they'll continuously send us pictures, and I give them 3 chances. I know I'm very generous, but I give them 3 chances, 3 strikes, and you're out.
Yeah. Because I mean, recently we had a lady who was a scam victim, and she came back with this other guy, and she said, but this one was nice. Well, they're all bloody nice. That's how they do it. It's no good. They're not going to come and say, hey, you send me some money because you're an absolute ugly old witch. They're not going to do that. They come on and say, hello, pretty. Do you know how beautiful you are? I really love you. Yes, they're all nice, but they are strangers. What I try to do, Cathy, because sometimes it's all we can do, is put doubt in people's minds. And so hopefully, if they go back to a scammer, if they go, I mean, they've got all the time in the world, Candy. They can be nice. They're not doing anything else. They're only shopping. That's it, with your money. So that's all they got to do. But if we can put doubt in people's minds, and so that maybe they're still going to talk to somebody, but when that other person asks for money, if they can think, oh, well, I got warned that this might happen. I mean, sometimes I think that's the best we can do, that they might stop at the point of that. And I'll say it again, we know what you're sending the money to. Oh, yeah. But
well,
Candy, one day I'll tell you about Annie Harley Baker. I will tell you about her conversation with the Indian call centre. It was absolutely perfect. Sadly, it's not on YouTube, but it was absolutely perfect. You heard Annie crying down the phone. You can't arrest me. I've got cats. Who's going to look after my cats if you're going to arrest me? Oh, she was brilliant. It was absolutely superb. But we spend a lot of time doing this. And when we're not doing this. We are talking to the media. We are talking to law enforcement. We are talking to lots of people.
Mm-hmm.
We don't have a day off.
No, we work 7 days a week.
And
we work 7 days a week.
And there is.
I can honestly say I love and I know that you love what you do, and we're very, very passionate of what we do, and compassionate too. Otherwise, we wouldn't be doing it. You know.
Oh no. Rather do. We could do anything, but this subject. Once you know about it, you can't turn your back on it.
No, you can't. But what I was going to say with the actual, what it can actually do if you continuously let yourself be scammed, one, it is going to impact on your mental health. It's going to impact on your everyday life. It's going to impact on you financially.
And we're talking long term here as well, Cathy. We're not talking just something that's going to come into your life and go away again. We're talking long term here.
We're talking long term. Your whole personality will change. You'll become withdrawn. You'll become depressed. You are literally glued to your iPhone, just waiting for that message. And him or her saying that, they're coming to you and they will send you the flight details. They'll send you the itinerary. You go to the airport. You'll wait 5 hours at the airport. No show.
And that's common. That's right. I mean, we had a lady who flew to New York on Christmas Eve and booked in a hotel and went to the airport and you didn't show. I had a lady, and 7 or 8 years ago, I met a lady. She lives in France, on the border between France. There's like a border between France, where the Alps and everything is. Gorgeous place. She lives absolutely gorgeous. She used to send me lots of snow pictures and then spring pictures, and I loved her area. And she got scammed. It was Stuart James, who was a grey-haired gentleman. He was age appropriate with her. And this was a long time ago, and she's still, and Rebecca as well, Sandy. And this lady, still sends me every now and again. She will send me pictures. Is he real? No, he's not. Or she was on my friends list, so I would get a friend request, and I would go back and say, hey, you've accepted this one. He's going through the women on your friends list. So, and today I got a really strange. She's French. And I got a really strange message from her this morning. It said cuckoo, which is like dear, a little French endearment. And I thought, well, she doesn't normally say things like that, And within seconds, her name on the account changed to Daniel something. And when I looked, her pictures were still on there. Her profile pictures were still on there. All her beautiful snow pictures are out, and her very old French personal account had been hacked.
Exactly. And they would have gone through all her friends if that was the case.
Yeah. So I had to I quickly got in and make sure that, he was off, that she was off my account, which was sad because I've known her for years now, just through this,
But you have to be safe, Ruth.
Yeah.
You really have to be safe.
Well, yeah, because, everything's on there. And if you're on my friends list, you can see all my friends and my family on there. I'm not going to put them out to scammers. It's an extremely safe place, my Facebook account. But after all these years, she's still accepting people, and she got hacked. And when we tell people that this is what can happen, they don't believe us. But it can.
Oh, and they can literally, and when they do that, they will, it'll change their lives. They'll lose friends. They will lose friends, and they'll lose family. It's
And is it
awful.
worth it? Is
No,
anything worth it?
no, definitely not. Definitely not. So tighten up your security settings. You know, just don't do it. Don't accept friend requests from people you do not know.
It
You know.
sounds so simple. And,
Mm.
I said to this lady today, and I said, I'm going to have this hammered on my gravestone. I can guarantee you that every stranger, every man or woman, but if we talk to women, every stranger that you get is going to send you a friend request, whether it is, well, yeah, I mean, Annie is our page police. And there's people she sees for years with a a name, and then all of a sudden it changes to another name, because
This
it's
finger here,
been hacked.
this finger here.
Yeah. Oh, it's an awful world because they're awful people.
Oh,
You have
yeah.
never ever met
And
people
you've
as
got to remember,
awful
yeah,
as the scammers.
and you've got to remember too, some of them are only 14 and 15-year-olds.
Yeah. Yeah.
They're babies. They're babies.
And you've got some of the most awkward ones are the youngest ones, I think. But they're after you. And it doesn't matter
And they're in
if you
love.
think it's if you've got somebody who's younger, if you've got somebody who's the same age, if you've got somebody who's a nice sort of silver fox, it's not that in the background, I can tell you.
And they're not falling in love with you, they're falling in love with your money.
Dustin always says, if you're trying to impress a woman, the last person you're going to ask for money is that woman. And that's
So true.
very true.
It is
Very,
true.
very true.
It is true.
So we
Okay.
at our
Gosh, that
time,
quick?
didn't
That went too quick.
it? I know, Sandy's just said thank you, and I just sort of looked.
Oh, she did too. Thanks, Sandy. I so love our podcast, Ruth. We do cover a lot, and in such a short frame of time. But we've got to really, really start getting to people to listen.
Yeah, and that's got to be, it's got to be the thing. Come to us and listen to us, and big girl pants on and block them scammers.
Excellent. Okay, where's Maisie?
She's gone. She's full of ham. She's gone to sleep. Yeah, she's full of ham.
Okay, my dear.
Very, very spoiled. Very spoiled.
Thank you so much.
So I'll see you in a couple of weeks, Cathy.
Yes, you will. In a couple? 2 weeks' time. That's fine.
Right.
Bye, everyone.
And then we will have the triple podcast with the Australia sisters.
Excellent. Okay, thanks, Ruth. Bye-bye.
Bye.